Thousands of years ago, they were Apollo, Zeus, Ares. Now they are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the other heroes and villains of DC and Marvel Comics. Join us every week as we discuss the legendary stories, characters, concepts, and other parts of comics as we examine the modern pantheon of heroes. Let's get heroic. Welcome to Under Two Capes, the podcast for the comic book fan. Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And so for this week, we are talking about the Ang Lee Hulk movie. And to assist us in this, I called up my friend Mitch. Mitch, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, my guy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I am this close to being done with the semester. I'm five pages away from being done with this paper.
Oh my God, I feel it in my bones. I took all day today to write it, and I didn't kill myself, but I was close. I was very close, but I didn't.
Oh, you guys in the same
tonight.
class. Nice.
Yeah, we had the we've had, this is actually our second class we've had together, right? Actually, third.
Yes, and we have chosen to suffer together under the yoke of politics. May the Lord have mercy on our souls. We're gonna make it through.
All right, so we're talking about the Ang Lee Hulk movie from 2003, and Lad and I were just talking about this before we started recording. So that movie came out almost 20 years ago.
Man,
I'm like, geez. I haven't watched that movie in 10 years, but in like 14 years, by the way.
It exists. It's a thing that exists in this world that somebody paid money for at some point in time. A group of investors got in a room and said, you know what? This is going to make us some money. And I don't know why they thought that.
I know.
Oh, man.
All right. So first we'll go around and say what we thought of the movie. So Mitch, since you're the guest, you can go first.
It's not a bad movie. And looking back at the way Marvel kind of they don't, forgive my video for cutting out sometimes. My way I am as temperamental as I am sometimes.
That's impossible.
It's not a bad movie per se. I think it takes the Hulk in really interesting areas that modern Marvel wouldn't do.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. Again, modern Marvel is very formulaic in my opinion, and that's good or bad whether you like it or not. That is a thing that they do. But I think it takes it in a different way, and I think that's unique. But I don't know if that would make them money in the long term. So I see why they changed it. Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad movie per se, but I don't know if they should continue with that. It's almost like if DC made a Marvel movie, that would be Hulk 2003.
They did. It's called Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Exactly.
That's pretty much
I'll
it.
tell you what you guys you're not wrong.
It was made by the dude that did the Avengers.
Oh, man.
Exactly. So it's not a bad movie. It's just it's so I remember distinctly seeing it in theaters. He ended up Hulk picks up these, I think it was wolves. And
it was those gamma dog things. I was telling Lad about this.
Yeah, and it's just I don't hate that idea, but I remember it distinctly, even from before even rewatching it. But I remember in my childhood seeing that in theaters and kind of what? Scratching my head at it. But it's okay, I can see it working. Okay, so it's again not a bad movie, but a very unique take on a superhero before Marvel's universe took off.
Lad, these are the zombie dogs, Lad. I mean the gamma dogs. Isn't that creepy?
That's kind of weird looking.
I know.
Despite making only 50% of the dog population, gamma dogs make up of 90% of dogs.
Now here's the thing. When this movie came out, I had a legit fear of dogs, so this did not help.
Yeah.
I was like,
no. Oh man, yeah, those things are they're kind of scary looking. Oh man.
Which I get it. They wanted they needed a boss battle, but I'm like, you irradiated dogs? Is PETA okay with this?
Yeah. I bet they weren't happy with that one.
I'm just like, what?
Oh boy.
All right, lad. Actually, I'll go next. So in terms of this movie, it's not the worst Marvel movie they've come out with that hasn't been in the MCU. I mean, probably my least favorite would probably be Ghost Rider 1. Or actually, no, Ghost Rider 2. I was like, ugh.
Hey.
You hurt me so bad my camera turned off.
I said Ghost Rider 2.
I was going to say, Ghost Rider 1, Nicolas Cage, pretty good. Like,
Ghost Rider 1 is badass. That's a classic movie. But, see, my problem is that, first off, the Gamma dogs just took me out of it. I was like, are you kidding me? That's what they decided to use?
Oh, man. Yeah, they didn't have any actual real, normal Hulk villains like Abomination or, Red Hulk or...
They had the Absorbing Man, though.
Yeah, his dad. It was a bit strange.
I did like how they explained how he survived getting, like, irradiated by Gamma.
Oh, right, with the nuclear explosion.
No, it's because his father was like trying to like come up with some gene therapy to help people heal and everything, and he combined all of the different like animals that are tough into DNA, and then he injected it into himself, and then when he had the kid, he passed it on genetically to Bruce.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
Yeah, I know. First off, well, it's Marvel, and second off, I'm like, okay, well, at least that they gave me an explanation besides it just happened.
I feel like doing that gene editing would cause him to become, infertile and be unable to have a child.
Hulk never has a kid except for in Planet Hulk, so
that's true.
They're the space Habsburgs, okay? Don't question it.
I know
it's not a bug; it's a feature.
It was kind of cool, that little scenes they had in the beginning where they showed him experimenting and stuff, and I recognized one of the where he put like a little square paper and then all these blue lines appeared on it and stuff like that. It was electrophoresis. That's something that like you actually do in the laboratory to see like it's cool because it actually like it was actually true what they were doing, and it was like it's all like magical, made up, the Hulk powers, but it's kind of cool they actually try to throw a little bit of science in there and have some cool scenes like that.
Speaking of science, it was really weird to see the old IMAX. I was like, oh man,
yeah,
that's how old I am.
Oh,
they're using cordless. They're using the corded phones.
Oh man.
If I could jump in real quick, my first exposure really to Hulk was not even from comic books; it's from one of the PS2 games. Was when I really got into like Hulk, and I know I'm dating myself because it's PlayStation 2 for one, and not even the thin one. We're talking like that you could beat a home intruder to death with like the PlayStation, like that one. All right,
that's an option.
Besides playing Star Wars Battlefront, it played Hulk.
Hell yeah,
nice!
And that was one of the best games for it because it was fun. It was open world, and that was my first real exposure to Hulk. And then to see it on the big screen, as strange as it was. Because, again, in a little bit of background, my father collected comic books when I was growing up, and I was only exposed to whatever box he decided to bring down from the attic at random intervals. Oh, there's a hurricane, let me get my comic books out of the attic. So I'd see, like, the Gray Hulk and all the weird things that go on with that. And then I'd also be reading 2000 AD. So it's as weird as that, connection is. It was really neat to see him on screen for the first time as, an impressionable youth. And as strange and different from the Hulk lore as it usually is, it wasn't terrible. It was kind of neat. It was the first. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong. After Spider-Man, was not Hulk was it before the Spider-Man movies or was it after?
Let me look that up real quick.
Because if it's before, it would be their first real foray into superhero movies besides The Rocketeer or something, and I think that'd be really that would explain a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Spider-Man 1 came out in 2002, so Spider-Man was first.
okay, so you have Spider-Man and then you have the Hulk, and you get to see that. And I think there's an argument to be made that Spider-Man's a little more agile, not as like destroy the whole city when he's saving something. And I think the Hulk is really neat because they're trying to balance a superhero movie when Spider-Man came out a few years before that's like not this huge bombastic destroy the city thing. And Hulk, that's what he's kind of known for, tearing things up, breaking
Hulk
stuff.
smash.
And they're still learning that that's something that audiences A, want to see, and B, is like a cool thing that Hulk does in kind of his calling card. So I think that's really neat to see like a movie before they were certain that would make money and before they were certain that would actually work and what audiences wanted. So they're trying to play a really subdued Hulk character. And I think if you look at it that way, it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That's a good analysis.
Before we started recording, I was watching the Honest trailer for this, and that they have that scene of the Hulk staring at a bush, and the Honest trailer guy is like, "Stop staring at a bush and punch something," because the Hulk spends too much time just standing around. And even when I was watching the movie last night, I was like, "Oh right, this is kind of boring."
Well, yeah, and you're not wrong, but I think it's because the studios at the time didn't know what to do with superheroes. Because Spider-Man made a lot of money, or it made decent money, but they're like, you don't have a superhero that, like, Spider-Man's not going to rip a car in half and use it as giant fists to punch other things. Or
that would be cool, though.
It would be cool. I'll give you that, and I'm sure in some symbiote thing he does that.
I'm sure.
Word, but before that point, there'd been no big screen of Hulk going wild and ripping things up and doing that. And I don't think they were prepared to really set off. So this is like, I'd almost like to see someone, not myself, because I don't have the time for that, but to take like not the visual aspects, but like the motifs in the Hulk from 2004, you said, and the Spider-Man, and kind of trace them through the future Marvel movies to see what connects. Because, there's some like suits in a boardroom like, the audience has liked this part of the movie the most. We should do more of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody in an office is paid to do that. So
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
All right, so Lad, what about you being the one that didn't watch the movie and just watched the YouTube clips?
I watched some clips of the movie altogether. But, I mean, I was, I kind of thought it was kind of cool that they made like, an inquisitive thoughtfulness to the Hulk, where he's like trying to, has that, it's not just smashing everything all the time, but I can understand why people it may seem a bit boring not to have
it's
that.
The Hulk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess like Mitch was saying, they weren't really so, how do you make the character just destroying stuff all the time, but then also justify him as a hero, or just have that filmed in such a way. It definitely improved a bit over time. But I mean, one of the things I was thinking about was how the Hulk looks. Like, I'm okay with how the animation was, especially for 2003.
Not bad.
I think it's okay. It
holds up.
A lot of movies, a lot of Marvel movies back then hold up. I mean, if you look at Iron Man 1, it looks like it was filmed and done all that stuff now.
Yeah. No, it looked good, and I actually prefer the face of this Hulk compared to the Edward Norton, Incredible Hulk movie from 2008, I believe.
Yeah. You've made it a strange time in my life.
Oh boy. But no, yeah, it had some good stuff to it. It had some really weird stuff to it also. But it's like it's an okay movie,
Yeah, it's ultimately that's back when superhero movies were not as popular as they are today, where everyone's like, it was okay. There wasn't like as high an expectation on a Marvel movie as there is today. Elephant in the room. What did you guys think of the thing they did in the movie, where like that they had comic book panels, but it was like the movie?
Oh,
I mean, I don't hate it. I'll jump in. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. It's not. There's ways to do it that are more tasteful, perhaps. Maybe that's not the best word. There's ways to do it that are a little bit more artsy, and I hate that idea that it has to be artsy. It's a comic book movie. You're not going in. It's not going to be Citizen Kane. But like at the same time, there's a way to incorporate it in there that's a little bit smoother. I think they work on that. The transitions. but I like the idea of incorporating a comic book kind of like panel or like that sort of idea. And again, you mentioned Ghostbusters at the original, and I think that'd almost be a perfect for that sort of movie where the more not absurd, but the harder it is to adapt a hero, I think the more they should lean into that like comic book sort of like paneling and design for a movie. So you have Ghost Rider or like Hulk, and you have him like punch a hole in a panel, and you transition from that mid like frame of him like jumping or punching through a panel into the scene. And I think that's a perfect way to like show that, yes, we know this is a comic book. We're Hollywood. We're not totally morons. We get it. We get what you're here for. And it shows like a wink and a nod to like, this is a cool aspect of the comic book that you guys liked. Or like he punches a villain and he hits him so hard it flies through the panel of like the comic book or something.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be a really cool transition. And it wouldn't be as jarring as like a fade to black or like anything like, or like a really long panning shot would be. It'd be like wham, you make it quick. He punches like Abomination through a panel on the edge of the screen, and then you immediately transition to him, Abomination hitting the ground and skidding. You know,
You're right.
And Hulk land on him. Personal opinion, but
personally, the way I think they should have done it is probably not done any of the paneling when he's not the Hulk. Like in all the scenes where he's just hanging out around the lab, because it seems really out of place at that point. If it's like a part that's like has a lot of action, it's very bombastic, like when he's fighting the military, perfect place to just throw in the panels.
Oh, that's good. I hadn't thought of that. That would be fantastic.
I know there was pretty much no panels in that scene. I was like,
picks up an
missed opportunity. Yeah, that would have been
panel into shape.
They pull an old 1966 Batman where every time he hits the tank, it goes whack.
Yeah.
I think there could be, like, I wouldn't do it for a full movie, but I think you could definitely do that for, like, if you're doing one of the Marvel TV shows nowadays. If you did Hulk in an episode.
That'd be great.
Where he lands on something like a car or a tank and it, like, crumples and it doesn't explode. You do the pow or the wham of the impact. I think that'd be
so cool.
Perfect. It'd be great.
Lad loves that because he's a big fan of the Adam West Batman.
I am. I'm quite fond of, bats and his old chum.
In his man cave, he has a can of bat shark repellent.
You gotta be prepared for everything, you know?
It's true. I agree.
Right. Did you know that Ang Lee actually did the mocap for the Hulk?
Did he really?
Yeah, and interesting that we should talk about Ghost Rider because our good old friend Cage was actually what happened was that Bana was up to play Ghost Rider, but he lost the role to Cage.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Also, Johnny Depp was apparently one of the actors being considered. Can you imagine Captain Jack Sparrow as the Hulk? That would be so great.
I'm the worst Hulk you've ever heard of, but you have heard of me.
But you have heard of me.
Oh my God. But I mean, is it a Planet Hulk, Pirate Hulk?
That would be. Oh yes. Well done, sir.
I can see it. He has a big blunderbuss instead of a pistol. Yes. It's just his load.
Instead of a sword, it's a big blunderbuss.
Tricorn hat and everything. Absolute. You know, I'd actually see that. That'd be great.
I would legitimately see that. And it plays the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song in the background.
Marvel, nice. Remember when you go and adapt this, I want my royalties.
Yeah,
remember, I'll be listening.
Right. They could. I think Hulk would fit well into the next Pirates of the Caribbean film. They could just combine it together somehow.
I'm about it.
There was this one scene from the movie where I'm calling BS on it being realistic, which I know in a Hulk movie there's one scene. But it's the scene where he's on the fighter jet and the jet apparently goes into space. I'm like, what?
Are you
That's an F-22.
U.S. military?
That's an F-22. That's not breaking the stratosphere, bro.
Jared, you just must not be familiar with the military vehicles and stuff like that. You must just not be catching up.
Sir, yeah, it's like, sir, the U.S. military is the best in the world.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. I just love. I also love going back to the scene where the Hulk is fighting the tanks, where he first lands in that dune and he tries to jump, but he's jumping in sand, so he can't really jump.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I like that idea. I like when, at least for me personally, I like when superheroes meet the modern, like the real world, and they grind up against it, and it's not like this perfect, like everything is wonderful. I'm a superhero. I can ignore the laws of physics or nature. Like,
Yeah.
I like that idea personally, because I think if a superhero is a little bit more realistic, it makes them that much cooler when they overcome the odds against them. So Hulk jumping out of sand. If you had like a big magnet and Iron Man, I don't know, you know, like that.
I'm surprised no one has tried that.
I am Magnet Man. Fear me, Iron Man. He just rips the plates off Tony Stark.
That's the reason why they have not brought in the X-Men into the MCU, because
Yeah,
Magneto
Magneto
would screw everyone up. That was a
YouTube.
YouTube video. That was a YouTube video. They have Magneto go up against every one of the Avengers, and he houses them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they all,
Most of their stuff is made out of metal.
they all use tech.
Exactly.
metal.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, and
bro.
yeah, no, and that again, I think that is a weakness of the MCU. That'd be really great if they addressed that eventually in some movie where it's like, you know, here's the real world, here's the Marvel universe. We're gonna like base them a little bit more in the real world, because then that makes them that much better when they beat whatever they're fighting, because of their skill, not just because I have technology that's functionally magic. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
very magic. All right, so here's another thing. I wasn't a big fan of like the last like boss fight against his father, the Absorbing Man. I felt that was kind of stupid, because it's like he's fighting a dude that's made of water.
I am hydrated. Oh no.
How? I'm like, what?
Have you tried punching water before?
Yes, I
did.
have.
It won.
I won. Yes, lad. I've been to the beach. It didn't work out so well.
You see, I take a book out of the Roman emperor's thing, where I go to the beach and then my men stab the ocean a few times to take some shells and declare victory. You know, we won, boys. We got some shells. We showed Neptune who's boss. Yeah.
All right. All we need is a dope ass trident, Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't do crossovers yet, all right?
Yeah.
I wish they would just go ahead and say we're doing a Justice League versus Avengers.
One of my favorite comic books is Batman versus Predator. I have a hard copy of it in a box somewhere. It's one of the best comics I've ever read.
They did do that, and they also did, lad, Superman and Batman versus Alien and Predator.
Really?
Yeah, I wish we were kidding, but we're not.
No.
Watching
Watching
Alfred shoot the Predator with a shotgun, like a blunderbuss no less, is a magical experience.
That's so Alfred, though. He would be the one dude to do that.
Yeah, the thing is that like his face is just unfazed, like don't mess with my family. Boom! Blasts the Predator.
He's not even fazed by the fact that he's fighting an alien that can skin people.
Yeah, no, Alfred don't care. Alfred don't care at all. Anyways, focusing back in on the Hulk.
All right, back on the Hulk. Yeah, I mean, see, the battle didn't really have that, because here's the thing. I will give this to the Edward Norton Hulk movie. When he was fighting Abomination, you felt the energy of every one of those punches, because he's fighting a physical enemy as opposed to a dude that is made of rocks, then water, and then a cloud for some reason.
Breathe it in.
Breathe it in.
Yeah.
I love that one scene where the Hulk is escaping from the military base. They try the knockout gas in the Hulk, and the Hulk just sneezes.
Yeah, that's
nice. I like that though, because that's a good indication of like what works. A little bit of humor. Okay, people like that. It works. It's, again, you can see that carried on into the other Marvel movies. The humor, the fact Hulk is, by all measurable metrics, an overpowered character
Oh yeah.
for the universe he's in. So how do you make him more relatable to the average Joe? You make him funny a little bit, and they kind of lean into that as the series goes on. Like, he hands the tacos to Ant-Man. Like, like I am relatable and not going to crush her head like a grape.
Well,
like
that was
that
also,
idea.
That wasn't really the Hulk. That was Professor Hulk.
But you get what I'm saying. The idea is that you can make the character relatable.
If you want to know just how overpowered the Hulk is, read World War Hulk, where he destroys every single superhero.
Oh yeah,
literally destroys them.
Yeah, it's because they they messed with his family.
They shot him into outer space. Then the ship exploded, killing the Hulk's wife and and he thought son. But the son came back later because it's comic books. And he showed up with an armada and it's like, okay, I'm going to take revenge on all you. And I was like, oh no.
Oh man.
You angered the Hulk. Yeah, but you guys see what I'm saying about the last battle? It was just like,
You need, I think, for Hulk, a tangible threat that's larger than him to really make it a satisfying fight, so you can watch him deconstruct it. And I mean deconstruct, like physically deconstruct. If you had him fight like, not to pull from a different series, like a Mecha Godzilla sort of thing, this giant monster that was dope, especially mechanical, like you need something that he can pull apart that will show damage on it to show how strong he is. So if he pulls apart, like either, if you're gonna lean into like the aggressively adult side of Marvel, you do like a meat sort of monstery thing that he can pull the arms off of, and then. But again, Marvel nowadays is gonna shy away from that. So you'd want like a mechanical giant, like maybe MODOK's piloting something or something. AIM is created like a giant robot, and he just rips the arms off of it and just beats it with it.
You can do that in the movie tie-in to the Edward Norton movie.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's perfect for Hulk because it shows his strength, and it's not gratuitous because it's not like organic, so you don't lean into that like, oh, it's dark and bloody and stuff. It's like he's fighting a giant robot and he's ripping it up, but it still feels powerful because it's huge and the size makes you think that it's strong. And then Hulk's like, yeah, I'm the Hulk, I'm gonna destroy this thing and I'm gonna get madder and destroy it. Like he's running up an arm and it slaps him on the arm and he's like, and he pan in and it's him and he's pushing the arm off of it.
Not impressed.
Runs up the rest and rips it off. Like
they
that is what makes Hulk the Hulk.
And they kind of did that in the Avengers 1, where that creature is coming at him and he goes, "I'm always angry," and then he just punches it and it just stops.
Exactly. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like that is the perfect Hulk. Because it doesn't make him like too like, yes, the Hulk could kill everyone, but he's not. And it does, so it's not like over, it's not too much. It's that perfect amount of Hulk destroys thing. We love it. It's awesome, but it's not overbearingly destructive.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think, lad?
That's a good point. That's a good way to describe it. Really, that balance you need with the Hulk character it's true. Yeah.
Because there was that scene at the end of the Edward Norton Hulk movie where Hulk finally says Hulk smash and wraps a chain around Abomination's neck and is trying to choke him out. And I was like, that felt like Hulk, as opposed to him fighting a cloud. Fantastic Four tried this later, and we all know how that turned out.
It was okay.
We don't talk about those.
We don't talk about those. No, it was not okay, lad.
It was. So we're going to cover those eventually.
Those movies were about on the level as Fan 4 Stick, okay?
No. Hey, that is not fair.
That's not true. They were good.
We'll
discuss them later. We'll discuss them another time. I'll take the lead on that one.
Yeah, that's true. But
I'll defend Chris Evans.
All right. Now, how do you rank Eric Bana as Bruce Banner?
Ooh.
Kind of low energy, if you ask me.
I don't know.
I mean, here's my problem with it. he's really too like dull to be Bruce Banner. Where you have, as much as I can't stand the person outside of Marvel movies with Mark Ruffalo, he's a little bit more of like a human being who has an emotional range.
Mhm.
Where with Eric Bana, it's all like, yeah, you won't like me when I'm angry.
I liked Edward Norton as the Hulk, and I was really disappointed not to see him come back in the rest of the cinematic universe personally. And I think he's probably kicking himself for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a funny interview about that.
I really enjoyed him because he had a little bit more range. And I'll put it like this: I remember the Edward Norton like Hulk character. I don't remember anything about 2004 Hulk's human side of it at all. Like,
oh really?
Like thinking back, like that is just a void of charisma in my brain. And I don't remember a whole heck of a lot these days, but like, that is one of the things I'm like, I remember him fighting the dogs. I remember the big fights, but like his human character, no, might as well not have even been in the movie because I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, because really what that movie is just what those scenes are is just buying time until the next time he gets angry. That's it.
Yeah, it's not used effectively. It's filler. It's Hulk is the main character of the movie, so we want to get him, and the human character is the vehicle by which we get Hulk to the next scene and the next action piece. And I think a good Hulk movie uses both. There neither is a vehicle for the other. Like Bruce Banner is not a vehicle for the Hulk, and the Hulk is not a vehicle for Bruce Banner. They're both unique characters just inhabiting one skin, And I think that is the challenge of a lot of Hulk movies, is to give equal importance, if not, you don't have to do equal screen time. Nobody wants to watch Bruce Banner. They want to watch Hulk destroy things.
No.
But if you can give equal importance, to like the plot of the story to each character, I think you're better off for it. So then you care about both.
Yeah, it's kind of like how everyone has their favorite Bruce Wayne and their favorite Batman, except Bruce Wayne is way cooler than Bruce Banner.
Batman animated series, Bruce Wayne represent.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just started watching that series for the very first time.
Oh my god, I grew up watching that as a kid. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's good.
That scene.
Read Batman White Knight. It's based off of the same series.
I have to check that out. All right, lad. What do you think of what you saw in the brief YouTube stuff you watched? What do you think of Eric Bana as Bruce Banner?
Okay. Okay job for Bruce Banner. Obviously, we're all there for the Hulk and seeing that. But I mean, I really like Mark Ruffalo. But I mean, yeah, I've seen a bit with Edward Norton. He looks really good. Like I haven't actually watched the 2008, Incredible Hulk movie, but he looked good for the role. Yeah.
Very fun fact. You know who else was up to play the Hulk? Dr. Manhattan.
Really?
I'm like, oh man.
He
turned into a blue Hulk. That's when you get the blue Hulk.
I've grown tired of this Avengers. I'm tired of being in the live.
Yeah.
He just explodes Abomination just by putting his hand out to him.
See, that's a whole other episode, is talking about the Watchmen, because I know that is
we have
the graphic novel, but it's such a the Watchmen movie has a special place in my heart. Anyways,
Zack Snyder, baby.
Watching Dr. Manhattan blow Rorschach up, it kills my soul, but I love it. In the same
spoilers.
Time.
A lot hasn't seen this.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Wait. So watching what? Do what?
Ignore me.
There you go.
I wasn't paying attention. I got distracted.
You're better off that way.
You're better off that way.
Oh boy.
By the way, Lou Ferrigno shows up in the movie apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's talking to Stan Lee in the movie. They're walking out and they're playing security guards.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, it would be hilarious if in the Doctor Strange movie, all of a sudden, like one of the back scenes, because it's going to bring in the multiverse, you see the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
Right.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be so great. And then the other guy's like, nah.
Just like close the portal, just like push it to the side, does it like disappear? It's like, don't worry about that one. We're good. We're good. Personally, I think the Edward Norton Hulk has more personality than the Mark Ruffalo. Truly, I think he could have had more because he has more range than Mark Ruffalo is. Just a like amiable. He's very, and I think it's intentional, but I think it's just he's very average. He's not the brilliant Bruce Banner you get to know. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm the Hulk. You know, I do things. I was a gladiator for a while. I exist. You know, and that's not a bad thing per se, but it's not. He doesn't show off that other side of the coin that is Bruce Banner. That's this brilliant scientist, and I think that's a miss because if they could show that off, it would greater kind of show off the contrast between the I am a brilliant scientist and I am the Hulk. You know,
I mean,
but when you
in
kind
their
of leave,
defense, he made Ultron.
Well, we don't talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's true.
You commit 1 or 2 war crimes, people, you know, they never let you forget it.
What I don't like about the Edward Norton Hulk is that, I mean, the MCU Hulk is that, excuse me, they made is that as with everything the MCU does, they made too much of a joke. The Hulk is the one character I think you cannot make a comedy out of. You can put humor. You can put humor in it, like a little bit of humor, but not the level of humor I think the MCU does.
I don't disagree. And I think you can play him as like almost a straight man to the MCU because you have like the Hulk in like this big fight and everyone's like may crack a joke or something. Hulk's just like looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, we're fighting for our lives here. And you could have him like in a scene, like pulling one of the aliens from Ultron like apart, just like arm by arm, just ripping it in half. And he looks at him like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like,
that'd be
Captain
great.
Marvel flies by and she's like,
oh,
yeah, okay, you know, I'm Captain Marvel, I'm the best. Here's this thing I did. And he's like looking at her like, what are you talking about? As he like grabs another one off to his right and the left one and he smashes them together in front of the screen. He's looking at her like, what are you talking about? Like, some of the heroes here are like fighting to not die and save the world. And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to shoot down an enemy alien spacecraft. Like, who are you? Like, what are you talking about?
It would be so great if in Endgame, when so in the beginning of the movie when she first shows up, they're all like, okay, so how do we know if we fight Thanos now, it won't end up differently from last time? And then Captain Marvel goes, last time we didn't have me. It would be hilarious if at the end of the movie, before Iron Man does the snap and Thanos punches Captain Marvel, if Hulk goes, now we do have you. So apparently it worked out the same.
Yeah, exactly. He's such an overpowered character. He can play the straight man to other overpowered characters because he's not a big idiot. He still has that Bruce Banner brilliant side to him. So you can still have that kind of come through and him like scratch his head or like look at him like, are you serious? Like,
plus the fact I'm going to call BS on the fact that Thanos, without the Infinity Gauntlet, beat up the Hulk.
I think you can play that, but you have to have him be not angry enough yet. You know, like he's pissed, but he's not like maximum pissed.
Yeah, that's true. He's not World War Hulk level of pissed.
Exactly. He's not pulling Thanos' arms out of their sockets yet. Yeah.
That'd be cool though.
That would be cool.
Take notes, Marvel.
Marvel, take notes. That would be.
I want an R-rated Hulk movie. That would be so great.
No.
You a Logan and call it Banner.
Oh, there we go. You're running.
Oh,
like you do. Oh, hear me out here. You do old man Bruce Banner. You know, he's getting aged. The world has no use for a Hulk, and then there's suddenly like this huge conflict that only the Hulk can solve, and he's a Hulk with a beard. And in mid-fight, he pulls the turret off of a tank, and he just like whacks the edges of it.
And we're back. Sorry about that, but because Zoom is really annoying and cuts people off. All right, Mitch, back to what you're saying.
You know, Hulk, he rips the turret off of a tank, and you're gonna use like a modern tank, so use like a Leopard, like, and he just nonchalant knocks the corners off these square turrets and makes it into like a sharpened axe, and he just
yes
goes to town with the turret thing, swinging it like back and forth, and he's got this grizzled beard, and you can see he's not like he's not getting angrier. And I think that would be how you play it, is that the more he fights, almost you'd play it as he's not getting angry, or he's just getting more disappointed or like sad. And you'll get to this point in the battle where he like annihilates this army of enemies, and he just kind of like stops and he drops the turret, and he's just like, he turns back to Banner, and he gets tired and he's old, and he's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I'm ready to be done. And then, you know, you either have his family gets injured or something, or somebody runs out, and it's like, you know, you got to keep, you know, like, this is all up to you. And something happens. Maybe there's like an explosion, like the artillery gets called in, he gets exploded back, and you do that scene when every movie ever where like the ears are ringing and he gets up and he looks around, and it's like slow-mo for a second. He's looking around. His family's dead or they're injured, and he goes absolutely Hulk smash. And he yells that, and he's this beard, and he picks back up the tank turret that's an axe, and he just jumps to it, and you just have him like,
that'd be so dope,
his way through, like, I don't know if you want to use like not Ultron, the anti-mutant Sentinels,
or we could turn this into Hulk kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, you could do that too, like, you know,
that'd be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. You know, like, you'd have his family say something about freedom and individuality, and how you can't be like, you know, stopped, and the idea of freedom lives forever. And he sees Captain America, and he hits Captain America's shield with like the giant tank cannon axe. He just sends him flying off screen, and just continues to just rage through the Marvel Universe, like, you know, I am going to be free or die trying. Just fights his way through it. And that would be just the perfect send-off to Old Man Hulk. Like, yes, you're going to stop me, but I'm going to take a chunk of you with me.
If they're going off the comic books for Old Man, then he's going to have to start cannibalizing people.
Oh, you could. Oh, definitely. You get like some minor Marvel character, you just grabs them and just bites the head clean off. Like, you're going to get like a scene of him just pulling, and it's going to be like spine.
Yeah,
like full Predator. Blood
lad. He does the Predator sound too, lad. What he does in the comic book, in the Old Man Logan comic book, he actually eats Wolverine, and then Wolverine just claws his way out of Hulk like he's being born.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Because then you can grab him. That would be fantastic. And then, like, here's the thing: he bites Wolverine's head, and he just like rips it off, and then Wolverine claws his way out. Later on, you wouldn't do it immediately. You do like, oh my God, he just killed Wolverine. What are we gonna do? So he's starting to heal more, and Wolverine claws his way out, and that can be like injured Wolverine. He leaves on the ground. He goes and fight, and that will be the final boss. Is the man he cannot kill. Is Hulk with his giant battle axe tank cannon.
Oh, that would be dope.
Versus Wolverine. So Wolverine's fighting, like blocking the tank like thing and cutting it in half, and Hulk just at the end, at some point, he's gonna like when he run out of tank cannon, he's gonna turn his head, and he's gonna look at it, and it's gonna be this like shredded like turd of a tank. He's just gonna throw it to the ground, and then he's just gonna drop it and look at him just roar, and Wolverine's gonna, like, Old Man Logan, who's old at this point, is gonna roar, and they're just gonna fight it out in this like knockdown, drag out brawl end of the movie. Like, nobody's winning, nobody's happy, but you're kind of excited to see it. But there's no there's no good guy by the end. They're just taking chunks. Or
what they could do is, here's the idea: it's a Hulk movie that takes place in the future, and Hulk is larger than he is now, and he's kind of fat. Hear me out on this.
Okay. So, I'm listening.
this whole movie, which would be like the regular Hulk movie, Hulk has like indigestion, and he can't turn back into Banner. Then what they find out, wait for it, at the end of the movie, Wolverine claws out, and that's how we get the mutants in the MCU.
Oh my God! I don't hate it. It's so dumb. It's just perfect enough for the MCU.
It'd be like in Aliens versus Predator 1, where it's like this peaceful scene, all of a sudden the Pred alien just comes out.
We don't talk about Alien versus Predator Requiem. We don't talk. That doesn't exist. AVP
Not Requiem. I was talking
AVP.
with the first one.
I was gonna say AVP ends with AVP.
Yeah, Requiem, I was like, Larry, why is the government in every movie too like happy to use WMDs?
I mean, you gotta buy it around in a bunker somewhere. Gonna use them somehow.
Like, you're just nuking towns left and right. You don't think there's going to be like radiation going in all directions? It's like they have an army of Hulks now.
It's okay. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah.
It's like Loki goes, I have an army. And then Iron Man's like, yeah, us too, of Hulks.
They all have cancer, though. We don't talk about that. Ignore that. Stupid cancer.
All right, so lad, you've been pretty quiet. What about you? You have any good ideas on an R-rated Hulk movie?
R-rated Hulk movie, man. How could you? I mean, I'd love to see, like, just take Hulk and basically do like King Kong, but with the Hulk. You know, leave him on, you know, what is it, Dino Island or the Savage Lands? He has to fight his way through, you know, like all of the different monsters, enemies. So you can have him destroying and killing things, but you know, it's not like it's like people or robots or stuff like that. So he's destroying like maybe there's some civilizations there and also like monsters and stuff, but it's, you know, it can still be rated R.
Hear me out. I just got a great idea. Hear me out. So it's a Hulk movie, but he travels to the center of the earth and fights a giant gorilla. It becomes Hulk versus King Kong.
Excellent idea, Jared.
Hey, it worked for Godzilla.
It worked.
It did, actually. That movie was great. Saw it in like theaters. Fantastic.
That was a dope movie. That was a dope movie.
But in all seriousness, Hulk versus dinosaurs, I think, is an underused trope, because dinosaurs are cool and the Hulk is cool. And there's nothing better than watching the Hulk or just watching something cool fight another cool thing, right? That's just cool. You know, how many times can I use cool in a sentence? A cool thing fights a cool thing. It's cool. You know,
it's because here's why: the MCU has not introduced the Savage Land. My problem with the MCU is that they have so many fantastic ideas for cool scenes, like Hulk versus a dinosaur. I would pay money in the theaters wearing a mask to see Hulk fight a T-Rex. But no, they're like, let's just do Falcon Winter Soldier, which is okay, but I want to see that more.
Yeah, no, I'd rather have Hulk like. Do you guys remember the old King Kong movie from not the Jack Black one? You know what I'm talking about?
2005,
yes.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
The one where it took 3 hours to see King Kong.
It was also terrifying to see giant insects like that. Not gonna lie, as a little kid seeing that.
That was a scary movie.
I think I was like 10 when I saw that, and it was scary. But especially because I hate bugs. But no, watching like Hulk rip apart a T-Rex like King Kong did, like that is a market that has not been catered to. Like, please take Hulk, have him grab not Stegosaurus, but like one of those big dinosaurs with the big like mace-like tail, and just beat,
and
like,
whack
a T-Rex
people with it.
Yeah, or just anything.
Or what they do is he gets swallowed by a T-Rex and he punches his way out, make it R-rated.
That's not bad. He'd get even bigger from that, and then he'd fight another T-Rex with the tail of the Stegosaurus. Like, he's like, I've killed one T-Rex, and he like rips his way out of it. He's like, I'll kill another one.
And then the final battle is him versus Abomination, except Hulk has your battle axe and he's riding a T-Rex.
I'm about it.
How ridiculous can we make these?
It's stupid, but you can bet Disney Plus would show it. It's great. It's that perfect like lean into it, like wink wink nudge nudge. We know you guys are gonna love this at home. We're not gonna put it on the big screen, but you're gonna love it, and that's exactly
why Hulk needs an R-rated movie. Just give me Banner, or here's a better title: Rage.
That's artsy. That's artsy. They'll sell that.
There you go.
They'll totally sell that.
There you go. I would go see an R-rated Hulk movie. You kidding me?
Or just have him fight some old enemy that he's never fought, he's never seen on the big screen. That's what they do. They'll take an old enemy and they'll revitalize him or reimagine him and make him scary. And that would be like, you know, Old Man Hulk. Who's like, not Abomination, because we know that. What's like some Hulk, like ancient villain that we haven't seen in years that sounds stupid on paper? Okay. Here's the deal.
Have they done Leader yet in any of the movies?
I was thinking about him too. No, they've done him in the animated.
You take
Leader's kind of cool because he has all that psychic power, kind of like where Hulk is like rage and just monstrous, with no mind. The leader is all intellect, with a small physicality, and he's like the opposite of the Hulk, where they have two separate means of strength, and so who can like win, brains versus brawn type of thing.
All right, so we have Zax, except it's spelled kind of like it was created by George Lucas, ZZZAX.
Well, you see, it's the blood. It's the power. The midichlorians is a powerhouse of the cell.
Wendigo, which I'm like,
I think I've killed those in Hunt Showdown.
Ravage, I've never heard of this person.
You mean Hulk, but with redhead.
Yeah. Piecemeal, Cyborg Hulk, pretty much.
That could work.
Speed Freak, nah, I can't see Marvel doing this character.
You do Speed Freak tied with Rick Ravage. You'd take multiple cybernetic characters and make them one character, is what they do.
That's true. By Beast.
No, you can't do that. That's biphobic. Can't do that.
Agamemnon, in case you want to go full Troy.
What?
Lord Armageddon. Well, here's the thing about Lord Armageddon. We had Thanos. So they really just, it's another Thanos.
Yeah.
We did Absorbing Man. Tyrannus. Nah. Wolverine, there's one.
You could do Wolverine, but you'd have to make it a really...
Here's an idea for a Hulk movie.
Where
he goes Maestro. You know what that is, lad?
Yeah, I know. I've heard of that one. Yep.
Imagine this is a Hulk movie. This is the Hulk kills the Marvel Universe Hulk movie. That's it. The UFOs, they were actually in the game. Juggernaut, but we had him in like multiple Marvel movies, including Deadpool, voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
I think you could. Okay.
Red Hulk again. I think Red Hulk will be cool.
It'd be cool, but you gotta have something visually distinct, because that's the issue with like selling a toy or selling something like a line of like any sort of merchandise. They have to look different, so you can sell two different things.
Here's an option.
Galactus.
Although that would not exactly last long.
Could he fight Silver Surfer instead as like a proxy for Galactus?
That would be cool. I would like to see that. Already got this. I love how like really they changed the design for Abomination from the comics to the movie. Like, wow.
Yeah, they did.
This one looks like a dragon, and here's again the leader. The leader that would probably make the most sense what they could do. Maybe the leader is what he hits Hulk with energy that turns him back into his savageness instead of like the Professor Hulk that I think is stupid.
Hear me out here. Hear me out. All right. Galactus is coming towards Earth. Hulk's the only one who can stop him. So Silver Surfer, in his like, because he's kind of not a bad guy. He gets it. So he's like, all right, you and I are going to fight on like Mars or on like another planet so we don't destroy the Earth in the process. And they have this like knockdown, drag out brawl between Silver Surfer and like Hulk. And you get the scene where Hulk's like old and grizzled, and he's still the only one who can face him, but he's getting tired. And he has like the Silver Surfer's board, and he just is like beating him with it, just like over his head, just like cracking him into the like Martian surface, like. But you get parts of Banner coming through, so he's like weakening when he's talking, but he's still fighting. He's like he like shrinks a little bit when he hits him with it. He talks. He's like, I am tired of dealing with you, dealing with this. I just want to go home, but I have to defend the Earth. And he's just like ranting at him as he pounds him into the Earth. And then, like the last scene, he beats him over the head with it. And he just like stops moving, and he takes the Silver Surfer's board and he sticks it in the ground, and you pan back and he falls to his knees, and it looks like he's kneeling at the headstone of like Silver Surfer, and that's you pan back out, and that's it. And that's how you end the movie. And Galactus, you can see him looking at it, and then he just turns his head and he just like goes, and that's it. And that's the movie.
And then the post credit is the Hulk is investigating a cave, and then he gets hit by a symbiote.
Oh my
Can
god.
you imagine a venomized Hulk?
Oh my god.
I'm sure it exists. I have to Google this.
And they did it in one of the Spider-Man TV shows, I think. Or it may have been in the Hulk animated series, Agents of Smash.
It exists. It exists. I will get that. Hang on. Actually, that might be fan art. Hang on. Is this it? Yep, that's it. All right, so let me do this. Get a load of this bad boy.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, can you imagine? That's a horror movie.
You'd have to play it like a horror movie, or else it'd be too strong for anything like realistic. You'd have to play it as like a no hero can beat it, so you have to like use your brain. So that will be a great way to introduce, like, as much as I am loath to admit, you'd use like one of the minor Spider-Man characters you want to do a spin-off of. So you'd use like Spider-Gwen or some like minor Spider-Man character that he's hunting. And that's how you like bring them into the Marvel universe. You're like, oh, by the way, they beat Venom Hulk by way of using their brains and like getting him in like a bell tower or something, like cliche, but like very, oh, I understand how this happens, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the Venom.
Speaking of variations of the Hulk, there was this comic book that Marvel did when they had their whole Secret Wars storyline, where it's basically a like an alternate what if the Marvel Civil War never ended, where Wolverine became the Hulk.
Really?
All I'm saying is that's not very Secret War if they made comic books about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Secret War, Wolverine, Hulk. Let me see if I can get a picture of this, because this is actually not that bad. It's Wolverine, a Hulk with Wolverine claws.
Cancer. You have super cancer, Wolverine.
Look at this.
Oh. Okay.
I don't hate that immediately. That's rare.
Yeah. Mitch normally hates things immediately.
I mean, if you talk to my peers in my college classes, yes, I do hate things immediately.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I think there's a formula here that Marvel hasn't tapped into. Is you take the straight man character and you have him fight the comic relief character, because you can finally like batten down the comic relief character a little bit to be at least a little bit less obnoxiously funny all the time. Mm-hmm. But you can also like make the serious character a little bit more lighthearted if you're careful, and like you give them one or two quippy one-liners while they're like ripping apart Deadpool. Like, you know, they say something snarky back for a change.
I was about to say
perfect.
I was about to say I could imagine a Hulk fighting Deadpool scene where the Hulk and Deadpool are fighting and Deadpool is being Deadpool, and then the Hulk, to quote the Marvel Avengers game, is like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, as he's punching him in the face.
Yeah, that'd be great, because
that'd be so great.
You'd get that, like, finally someone tells Deadpool to just stop talking for a minute, and it's like,
I know,
but you get a little bit of brevity from Hulk, and you get Deadpool to finally shut up for a minute. It'd be fantastic.
Again, there's a way to do comedy with the Hulk. There's 100% a proper way to do it. It's just, I feel like with here's the thing. The MCU was good. I'm not talking good as in quality, because most of the movies have been pretty dope. I'm talking about in terms of comedic wise. They've been good up until the point Guardians of the Galaxy happened. From that point, they all became action comedies.
Because it printed more money than God.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, what they missed is that here's the thing. Each movie, say what you want about the DCEU, the movies kind of have different tones, because you had like Man of Steel, which I know people were upset that it was like very dark and he snapped people's necks.
I liked it. As someone who never read Superman, I liked it a lot.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. And then it's, well, granted, Man of Steel and BVS and Suicide Squad were super dark. I'll give you that. But you had like Wonder Woman, the first one, which was a lighter tone, still took place in World War I, the most horrible of all wars. But it was super great how they fit in her hopeful and comedic tone, but they kept it serious to a point where, I mean, I felt like Wonder Woman 1984 was a little too close to the Marvel style of humor, where it's constantly like a comedy. Which I get it, it's the 80s, and any 80s style movie is a comedy, let's face it.
I mean, true. I don't disagree. I think you're right. Zodnek go snap. I saw that in theaters and I really enjoyed it as like,
me too.
When it came out. It was like what, like 2012, 2013, I think?
Yes.
Because people were like, Superman doesn't kill. And I'm like,
no, you see, I was like a bloodthirsty high schooler at that point in my life. And I'm just
really?
like, Superman killed someone. Awesome. Yeah. Finally.
I'm the guy that in Batman v Superman where the Batmobile has machine guns on it. I'm like, that's so dope.
Exactly. I'm like a high schooler who's like, dude, Superman snaps his neck. Finally, he gets it, man. Zod killed a whole bunch of innocent people. Dude, just kill that guy. He's never going to do it again. You know, like
he said, I'm not going to stop.
Exactly, man. Finite solutions for finite problems, man. Just rip his head off. I'm like, yeah.
I love
my lingering psychological issues aside. No, it's interesting to see the idea of this overpowered superhero. Because again, Superman, not overpowered per se, but you know what I'm saying? He's very powerful. And how a universe, a cinematic universe, or just any sort of comic book universe, like works around that. Because you have to almost orbit that character as like a universe. Because anytime you write something, you're going to have to take into account, well, where was X, Y, and Z? Where was Hulk when this happened? Where was Superman when this happened? Yeah. So I think that Marvel does a good job with that because Hulk's off doing his own thing. And at a certain point, especially with like the animated movies, sometimes Hulk's on another planet fighting stuff. Sometimes Hulk's fighting military creations. Sometimes Hulk's fighting other things. And it does a good job of like making him busy enough fighting things that other heroes couldn't fight to go and like be busy. So it makes sense why he's doing his own thing. Or I think Superman, as a character runs into an issue where it's like, my boy could just laser somebody's brain out the other end and just go and save the day. So it's like, I think Hulk, because we're talking about Hulk, has that benefit of like, you know, he's powerful. And if you get him mad enough, he'll be powerful, but he's not powerful enough to like melt somebody's brain out the other side with heat vision and then go on his day, you know? He's like, not going to make scrambled eggs of your brain and then go about my business for the day.
I'm sure there's some world in the multiverse where Hulk does that. It's Hulk, Superman.
That'd be pretty cool, not gonna lie.
That'd be dope. Hulk, Superman. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool.
It's a Hulk powered by the sun. Can you imagine that?
Oh man.
That is Hulk kills both the Marvel and the DC universe.
Hulk kills anyone that looks at him funny at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You breathe wrong? All right. Head like a grape.
Well, let me put it this way. Any Hulk movie inevitably turns into Hulk kills the U.S. military.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the 2022 version where it's Hulk kills the Russian military because Disney has to pander somehow and they can't fight the Chinese. So
Hulk kills the UN military. That doesn't exist.
Hulk hates the Antichrist. Do I know? Anyways, skipping over that.
That would be great. But
I'm sorry. Okay, it's the blue helmets. Hold on, like blue helmet.
I got lost.
Don't worry about it. It's a political science joke. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, you'll get it. But anyway, speaking of Hulk fighting the military, I thought the scene was kind of cool where he takes the missile out of the crash helicopter and throws it at another helicopter.
Don't they do that in one of the Iron Man movies or in Winter Soldier? Am I wrong? Doesn't he pull a missile out of the rack and throw it in one of the helicarrier's like engines? Am I wrong?
I know there's a Spider-Man movie where the Green Goblin fires a missile and Spider-Man redirects it back at him. So that's what I'm thinking of. I want to
say in Winter Soldier, Captain America, someone's hanging under. No, am I thinking of Avatar? I could be thinking of Avatar.
Maybe you're thinking of this. In the Winter Soldier, someone did throw a grenade at the Winter Soldier and he throws it right back into the hatch of like a Quinjet.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, because I don't remember. Like, see, here's the thing: in the Winter Soldier, it's mostly like human level characters, not like Thor God level. So I can't imagine Captain America throwing a missile right back at someone.
I mean, he does hold a helicopter close to a building, so I mean, you never know with him.
That's a helicopter that's a building that's falling.
Patriotism empowers me, you know.
Yeah.
How do I subclass into the god of patriotism? Anyways.
How do you so Steve, how do you survive like the Winter Soldier, like a helicarrier crashing everything? Because America.
Because
America. The Gap. JC Petty.
That was such a great song. I love that song. Jeez. All right, so back to the Hulk movie.
Hulk movie. All right, back.
All right, so Lad, was one of your YouTube clips Hulk when Hulk is fighting all the helicopters?
No, I saw the clip where he's like starting to smash stuff, and then like he and the girl look at each other, and they're getting ready to shoot him, and then they're like, "No, don't shoot him. He's okay now." And then they're like, "There's just no fight happened." Maybe not good.
Wait, so yeah, that's when he shows up in Los Angeles. It was kind of funny, and I told this to my dad last night. It's like after the Hulk goes on a rampage in Los Angeles, it doesn't look that different than the way it actually looks now.
We don't talk about Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there's a scene, Lad, where he's going up against a bunch of Comanche helicopters, and it's like one of the most like ridiculous Hulk fight scenes I think ever, because okay, so he takes down a helicopter, takes a missile off the rack, and just whacks it. Or he catches a missile, bites off the warhead, and spits it at a helicopter.
What?
This gives me a panic.
I guess.
And I'm like, this sounds like something that would be out of the Adam West Batman cartoon show.
It's so dumb, it's great. Because like, if you played that straight, it'd be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because like he bites off the warhead, it explodes. It's like, okay, Hulk had toothache, no more toothache, you know, like rips the head off the missile. But
that's the way he gets rid of baby teeth.
Yeah, like boom, a tooth flies off, like wings the pilot, and one of the other helicopters crashes. It's like, all right, we're about it. But no, I think you gotta take a certain bit of absurdist like humor into like the Hulk movies, because if you don't, like you can't enjoy it. If you try to take it like a straight like serious business movie, it's like no.
Let's face it, you're seeing a movie about a guy who, when he gets angry, turns into a giant green rage monster. These movies aren't meant to be taken seriously.
I don't like spinach. I'm not the Green Giant, you know, like well, different.
This Hulk was, I think larger than the other two Hulks. Like, he's much more, a little bit more, I felt he was more hulkish and more massive than the Eric Bana, than the Edward Norton and the other one.
Right. Maybe.
I mean, but this one punches radioactive dogs, and the other one fights Abomination. So I think the Abomination one might be cool.
I love, by the way, how when he finally kills the radioactive dogs, they like poof.
Sir CGI at the time can't handle that. So 2004 Industrial Light and Magic has to just make them explode into dust. You know, we just, we can't handle it.
Yeah, lad, that's actually what happens. So the way you know each of these dogs is destroyed is that when you throw it, it'll disappear in a poof of green smoke.
That's strange.
It's just like the video games. You throw them so far they despawn.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess it makes sense then.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
You throw them out of render distance and they just disappear. It's like, okay.
Render distance. When it gets too low poly, they just disappear.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the N64 days.
Ah, jeez.
Nice.
All right, so Mitch, I gotta ask, which Hulk game did you start with? Because I remember I started with the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction game.
I think it was Ultimate Destruction too, because I remember you could unlock abilities to jump on a tank and you smash it and make it into your fist. But you didn't start the game with it. You had to unlock that ability. So I remember unlocking it, saving, starting a new, like reloading next time and like immediately getting a tank and doing that. I'm just like, all right, I'm in for the rest of the game, boys. Extra fists, let's do it.
Yeah, I remember. What was cool, by the way, is that so Iron Man 1 comes out and you can actually unlock the Hulkbuster suit, which was cool. Is that so there's a line in there's a move in the game where any normal Iron Man suit you like sort of throw a helicopter around by the tail because it's Iron Man. But with the Hulkbuster, you just fly up behind the helicopter and just two fists smash down on the tail rudder. It's so dope.
My original Xbox gamer tag had Iron in it, Iron Halo, because of that Iron Man game.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I carried that name for years afterwards because of that god-awful Iron Man game that, looking back, was terrible, but at the time as a kid, loved it.
Yeah, at the time. And then if you had that saved on your Xbox and you got the Incredible Hulk game, you get to use the Hulkbuster suit.
Did you really? That's awesome. I didn't know that.
And when he screams, it's the actual guy in the suit screaming.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was so dope. And then in that game, you could turn a car into boxing gloves, which I thought was pretty cool. And you can fight a giant AIM robot. And that was instantly my favorite part of the game. I was like, I gotta do this more. And then you could like destroy like Avengers Tower, the Baxter Building. You like destroy all the Marvel people.
And nothing of value was lost. Anyways.
Nothing of value was lost. Yeah, and I'm a DC fan, and I will back that up.
See, I'm a 2000 AD fan. I'll be the contentious one. So,
oh, man.
Hey, man, I grew up on Grimjack and Judge Dredd, all right? So you want to know why my political opinions are weird? Look at Judge Dredd and Grimjack.
What did you think of the Judge Dredd remake movie with Carl Urban?
You mean so good?
Yes. Yes.
I am the law. Yeah, what do you say? Hot shot? Yeah. Hot shot.
I was sold, and that was my first exposure to Judge Dredd. And when I saw that movie where he goes, no, my scene was when he goes incendiary and he fires a shot across the building and it like lights them all on fire. I was like, oh, this is so dope.
Yeah, back when England actually had some guts and made good comic books. I cried.
Yeah.
Anyways,
exactly.
Read Nemesis the Warlock if you like 2000 AD. Fantastic comic book, great art style. Anyways, but no, I like, and I think this is you could do a whole other episode of this, how this Hulk video game influenced other open world video games, because you could trace Hulk Ultimate Destruction 2, Prototype 2, and also I would even guess Saints Row 4. Because again, open world, hero sim, overpowered. I'm just saying that whole game.
It's true.
That whole game was the first real. You're a heavyweight hero fighter in a city, and you can destroy things. And I really think that paved the way for a lot of other games.
And in Saints Row, you're jumping like the Hulk.
Exactly. Even though Saints Row 3 is better, Saints Row 4 has its own charm. But
I love that game.
3 is pinnacle. Anyways, Hulk.
No, I mean,
we keep going off topic.
No, but that's cool to see like how the Hulk kind of like, affects other forms, not just other movies and stuff, but also the video game world, or just Hulk has so much impact. It's such an iconic character,
You're right, and it really is this like he seems like a simple character on its surface, but this like this not pained, but like this tragic hero, this archetype of like he literally I bet, again, I don't have the time for this, but you could do like not Phantom of the Opera, but like Jekyll and Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, the Hulk.
Yeah.
How could you trace this dual existence character from this original like literary background to where you see the Hulk now, where it's like, Jekyll and Hyde, you could trace Jekyll and Hyde to Hulk. It's scientist, mad scientist, monstery thing otherwise. And you could trace this. And I think that's really neat to see how then from Hulk, how it expands into pop culture where, you might not see Jekyll and Hyde or Phantom of the Opera. You'll see the Hulk instead, and how the Hulk has added his own twist to it, his own powers to it. It's not just that he's a monster. It's that he's he's exceptionally strong. He also sometimes is incredibly insightful. You know, you could even bring in like Frankenstein's monster to it, where he's not just this giant, scary, spooky monster, but he's smart.
That's true.
Yeah.
What I think they should do in future Hulk properties, because there is kind of a thing in like the animated series and in the comics where Hulk and Banner have a conversation inside of Banner's head. You get that whole, they're two different personalities. I think that would be a really cool dynamic to bring into future movies, because pretty much the way they play it off in the movies is that it's still Banner. It's just super strong and angry. Where the average person going to see the movie doesn't realize, if they don't read the comic books, that they're actually two very different personalities. It's a very, very, very strange and badass form of schizophrenia.
Yeah, you're right. But like, it's terrifying when you say it, but it's right. But I think that could be a great background for, like, you know, Marvel likes to preach at us these days. Make it where it's like, you know, this whole, you could do half a series where Banner's struggling, trying to keep the Hulk in, and he's trying to like fight this, like the voice in his head that isn't just a voice in his head. It's a legitimate person that can come out at any moment and destroy everything around him and everything he's worked for. And that could be a whole like psychological drama. You know,
you could do it like they did in the movie Venom.
Yeah, exactly, but with better acting and not Tom Hardy.
I liked him as Eddie Brock, so
I know. I'm just kidding. I gotta throw some stones, but
he's better than the one we got in Spider-Man 3.
We don't talk about Spider-Man 3. Yeah,
there's a lot of
you know what I'm saying? Like, you can play that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I grew up with that movie too. That's the worst part. But yeah, you can play it as this like serious straight man psychological drama, and I think you could really get some mileage out of that. Marvel, I want my checks in the mail. If you take that, you know.
Yeah, because here's the thing: the Hulk. You're exactly right. The Hulk it doesn't really seem like that much of a complicated character. It's like I had this conversation with my sister because she feels that like Superman is like a super, like, a pun intended, very like simplistic character, and I'm like,
I would argue that to the death. Anyways.
Well, here's the thing. He's the character that can destroy the world, but doesn't be, no matter what, because he has a love for humanity.
Well, he's a quintessential American spirit. And that's what I mean. Like, he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a wonderful character that doesn't get enough love these days. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Exactly. I mean, and yeah, exactly. With the Hulk, people realize there's a lot more to these characters than meets the eye. Even Captain America.
Transformers. Sorry, wrong series.
Yeah, exactly. All right, lad, speak. You've been too quiet. We only have a couple more minutes of the episode left.
Lad, no speak. Lad just angry all the time. Actually, that kind of does make me think. What do you guys think about Hulk? Should he be non-verbal or just saying Hulk smash, or should he be like speaking his thoughts a bit, or what do you think? More monster and
Hulk
beast,
smash,
or describing things?
Monster beast.
Monster beast.
I'm not against Hulk talking a little bit more, but not a lot. I don't want him like giving me a soliloquy.
It's
I
like
just want him to give
puny
me a
god, puny human. I like that.
Something trite, smart, and short, and to the point. He's part Banner too, but he's like the animal Banner. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna say something smart, but he's gonna say it quick, and he's gonna say it in the least amount of words as possible. If you can get that down, it's gonna be like every line from Hulk will be quotable if you have a good writer, and I think that's what you should aim for.
Exactly.
That's a good balance, I think.
It's like we all know Hulk smash. And with that, we're going to call this episode quits because we have a less than a minute left on the Zoom call. And Mitch, always a pleasure having you on.
Pleasure to be here, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, fun time.
Good to meet you, lad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to come on again. And lad, always a pleasure co-hosting with you. I hope you enjoyed our episode where we went off the rails talking about stuff other than Hulk and Hulk. That's part of the fun here. All right. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend and stay heroic. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.